Hey guys, and welcome back to Tekkify. We've had a few issues with connecting this time. For some reason, everything keeps on kicking me off for large amounts of time. So if at any point I do get kicked off, I will do my best to get back on immediately or continue recording when it's more stable. However, let's just hope it just doesn't crash. Anyway, as you may have noticed, there's a different house at the moment. Now, I spent about 3 or 4 days revamping the place, and, well, it kind of became this. Remember that old place I had? It was lovely. I still got the pit leading down, however, it's a lot more covered now. Oh, if I just land. There we go. Something I wish I could do in Tech is, like, turn down jetpack noise independently of all the other volumes, because it seems to be the only thing. So yeah, still got my, like, thing down here, all the way down. However, I've moved out all my machines because I put them elsewhere, and I now have better systems to show you, and many, many other things. I've switched out my giant tanks for smaller ones. I've started hacking up my last giant tank to build the last of my other small tanks. I currently have a honey tank over here with not much in it, but, you know, we've just started. Did have, out here, a large forested area, however, I've moved that now to over there. Random trees. Over here. A series of things, harvesters, planters, and all goodies and stuff like that. I've also got a power plant over there, which I will show you. Decided to move to surface buildings again. It's a lot nicer to have sunlight while I'm trying to do things, rather than being buried miles underground. Also have some heads here. Lovely, lovely heads. That should warn any intruders. And I also have a random bundle of floating machines. Now, these normally have an energy cell in the middle. In this particular case, they do. Just hack this up. They have a redstone energy cell. A bit of power in it. Excuse me. And at the moment, I really could do with some more liquiduct for over at my power plant. So, first things first, I have to get some obsidian. I currently have some in my inventory, however, I need to find lead as well, lead ingots. I think I'll be in any of these chests. I have way too many dump chests, it is ridiculous. Come out, wherever you are, lead. A single lead ingot, I feel rich. Lead ore. Ooh, 19 lead ore. Useful. I'm going to leave the chat running this time, it's more funny. Just read what they say. Pulverizer. Pulverize the lead ore. I also have a bunch of other machines around here that aren't things like that. Forestry machines. We've got a carpenter, squeezer, centrifuge, and also got an induction smelter. Wait, what? No, that's not forestry. I'm being an idiot. No, we've got our acclimatizer up top as well. Currently having to... Meow Kitty 17 is acclimatizing some of our bees, which we have on the roof. Yep, that's right. Bees on the roof. Now, we need 11 lead, so that's more than enough. To begin with, I'll just leave those in there. Only issue with the new design is like the machines are kind of all over the place at the moment, but I have set up a nice little energy generation system. I wasn't going to have my machines all over the walls originally, but that's how it's ended up. I didn't have much cabling because I used it all on my solars. And due to this graphics, it's kind of like these graphics being a bit futsy, the actual solar panels are on the sides. Well, this is what the bottom normally is. The actual solar panel bits are on like the front here on each of them, rather than on the top. Bit weird. Still works on normal texture pack though. Anyway, going to load of copper, cook up the pulverized lead, and as soon as the pulverizer is done with the other lead, I'm going to pulverize the obsidian. Now I need 2 pulverized obsidian for every single piece of every single lead ingot to put in the induction smelter. I'll need, in this case, I'm going to need 11 lead ingots, and I could just put the obsidian straight in there, but it wouldn't accept it, so I have to pulverize it first. There we go. That'll take a bit to actually pulverize the obsidian. Now, I would normally like keep this refilled or put a tesseract at the center, but it's easier to just change out the redstone energy cell on occasion. Unfortunately, the energy usage of these machines is not exactly high, so it can happily sit in there for quite some time unless all of the machines are being used a lot. Seem to be devoid of crashes so far. Let's hope none more occur. Yes, this room isn't exactly perfectly lit due to the presence of all these like machines, bits and bobs I'm slowly vacating. It doesn't look like the prettiest room in the world, does it? But that'll change. Oop, wrong machine. 9 obsidian. Yeah. I'm rich. So yeah, what I'm aiming to do here is put pulverized obsidian with a lead ingot to make hardened glass, and this hardened glass combined with copper ingots becomes liquiduct. And I will show you why I need the liquiduct as soon as I've built the hardened glass. What's our plan saying now? Oh, damn it, guys. Really? Oh dear. Yeah, the induction smelter, using 2 obsidian at a time, although it goes at the same speed as the pulverizer, because it takes 2 at a time, effectively goes twice as fast in consumption of obsidian compared to the pulverizer's output of obsidian. It does mean that trying to put out all the obsidian we need quickly enough isn't really going well. Plenty of hardened glass to start with, though. 2 pulverized obsidian, in you go. Come on. A little bit more. Well, that's to be out soon. Now, something to note with these machines, whenever you put the correct ingredients in, it always takes away what it needs and then processes it, whereas things in IC2 usually make the item and take the ingredients as soon as the process is done. Which means that like you can interrupt the process at any time, whereas this it's like, no, you've put them in, your resources are now committed to making this item. It's a bit more realistic that way. Does also mean you can occasionally, if you're used to other particular types of ways of doing things, forget that there's still one lot to be processed in there and leave it in there. Come back later and be like, oh, that's why I needed that item. Now, off to craft liquiduct. Another thing that's going to happen in the update is these project tables are going to be replaced with, well, project tables, just from a different mod. Which, in theory, will be a little bit better. There we go. Now, I have over a stack, just under a stack and a half of liquiduct. My jetpack isn't looking healthy. So, give it a quick charge. Now, this is the result of about a stack of coal coke and solar panels for quite a bit of time. Having 32 does produce a fair amount of power over time. And due to the fact that the mass fabricator is not allowed here, there's nothing particularly energy consuming, so I can happily run everything I need to. But if I wanted to run something constantly, I would need a much greater power supply, so nuclear power maybe at some point, in case if we ever go into more powerful things or more constantly running things. Be a good idea. Anyway. So. Go over here to my energy powering facility. Now, oddly enough, this forest is actually part of the facility as well. I will explain the whole process. Looks a bit like a pizzeria in here with a load of coal coke ovens sunk into the floor. There we go. Now, the idea behind this is I have lots of coal coke ovens turning logs from this forest outside. Well, I say forest, I mean it does grow. That will get put into these machines, into the coal coke ovens. Hardly call them machines, they're just ovens. 2 floors of coal coke ovens, if I can manage to get down. All of the creosote oil that gets produced gets whisked away, and the logs get turned to charcoal. There's a creosote oil tank, there's also a water buffer tank and a lava tank for other things. Yeah, some creosote oil currently flowing through the system. Now, coal coke ovens, all of their charcoal gets sent to these boilers. This is where all the water comes in. Water comes in, steam goes out. Now, bit of a silly thing to note is steam in this is considered a liquid, so you can store it in tanks, but when the tank is below a certain level, you'll notice that it like pours in, which is really strange. Anyway, the steam gets sent to these industrial steam engines, which make the most efficient use of the steam, and turn it straight into energy. Now, I have a redstone energy cell here, which is currently being mostly drained by the fact that I still have, or still had, a magma crucible going. This is where I've put them to use now. I've also got a spare one in case I ever want to magnify or melt ender pearl or redstone to create more of this stuff, or one of these. Now this here is a tesseract. This particular one is an energy tesseract. You create these by using liquid ender and a variety of other materials, but mostly molten ender. And these allow for the transportation of either items, liquid, or energy. This particular one is an energy one, which I have transferring from here, outside, to here, which is connected to a harvester, the sludge boiler, and a planter. I would also have it connected to the fertilizer over there, but I currently don't have the resources to create fertilizers. However, I am working on that. I also have 2 DSUs, one for logs, and one for apples, because, you know, you never know when you're going to need apples. And every single sapling gets sent back. Obviously it means that more saplings are going to get produced due to some large trees, but it's somewhere under here. Will just be random saplings. Yeah, directly under here. There we go. Planter. Completely full of saplings, almost. Incredibly useful. Yeah, just by ducking down I've managed to pick up 15 saplings, because they just, like, pop out of the pipes. Just throw you away, I don't need you. I would make a DSU for spare saplings, but hello, here come some trees. And you actually get to see the harvester in action. Now, the way the harvester and the planter work, guess we'll start on this part of the system, being it's the primary fuel source. The way the harvester and the planter work is they have a certain sized area that they focus on. The harvester has to sit at the edge of the area, and the planter has to sit at the centre underneath. The harvester will plant on not the block above it, but the block above that, on a plane of saplings. And the harvester will cut down everything in front of it of the radius it's programmed to go. Now, ordinarily these will do it in 3x3 areas, so this would be a much smaller system. However, I have given them emerald upgrades, radius increase of 11, which results in a 25x25 area. Now, the original radius of those things is 1.5, so 1.5 plus 11 is 12.5, 12.5 times 2 to get a diameter is 25. 25 by 25 area. Now, it needs to be this large ideally for the amount of fuel we want to use. I'm not fully stocked on coal coke ovens yet, but the only reason is because I can't keep up with any more. The amount of coal coke ovens I have at the moment is 27. And that is the amount that full stacks of logs can fit into my main area of my inventory. Exactly 27 stacks of logs. That's why I haven't expanded to more yet, because more would result in 40 coal coke ovens, probably, and that's more than I can handle. So, I've been trying to build an automation system. Now, I'm doing it manually at the moment, but I would take logs from this DSU here, deep storage unit, insert them into the coal coke ovens, take from the coal coke ovens the charcoal, and put them into the boilers. Now, because red power is going on here, I've opted to try and switch to something called applied energistics. Now, it's an incredibly useful system for moving stuff around, does require energy, hence this is plugged in. This is the Emmy Controller, we have Emmy Terminal, got an Emmy chest, if it'll open. Now, the idea is you can't just shove things in that Emmy chest, not as far as I'm... yeah. Oh, you can actually. My bad. Never knew you could do that. Well, you can manually shove things in the chest. However, you can also draw things off from things like this, which is my charcoal deep storage unit. At the moment, what I have it designed to do is to insert logs and take out charcoal. Actually, the export bus is the thing that puts it exports from the system rather than from the item it's attached to. So this one will be the logs one to export. Wait, this no. Now the idea is I'll have I currently have some more extra logs here. But the idea is I'll have an Emmy importer to import logs into the system from here, store it in the chest, store it in this thing here. It doesn't get stored for long though, because I'll have exporters scattered all around all of my coal coke ovens. Now, haven't got that many. I've only got a few set up at the moment. However, they have in their systems oak. Now, I can literally just stick it like this. I don't lose any from my stacks, and they just appear in there. It's a bit like diamond piping. However, once I've put them in, and I activate the system, it will automatically take any logs from the system and try to put them in here once every, I think it's 5 times a second. So every 5th of a second, they'll try and put logs in there. Now, I want to hook up every single coal coke oven, however, building these things is relatively resource intensive. Not the easiest to do. So, it'll take me a while. So, I'm sticking with, until I have more resources, I'm sticking with manual putting in of logs and manual taking out of charcoal. I also intend to have Emmy exporters on the sides of these. Now, the good thing about these pipes is they're instantaneous transmission pipes, which means as soon as something's drawn into the system, it's effectively like electricity. It just travels instantly from one point to another. Technically, electricity doesn't travel like infinitely quickly, but you know what I mean. So all of the pieces from the coal coke ovens will suddenly be drawn into the system and will go wherever they need to. In this particular case, I will primarily send them to here, and if there is an excess, I will send them to here. That is the idea. Now, the way that will work actually is I will have charcoal running around trying to go into these, and any excess I will just shove into I will have a series of these Emmy exporters just wrapped around this DSU for excess charcoal, and I will also have an exporter in there, just the one, just in case the system ever goes down for whatever reason, so that it can transfer charcoal into here and just keep this stuff going. Now, the idea behind it is these boilers will produce the water, make the steam, power all the systems, stuff like that, which will mean then they will also, in return, power the ME system, which will allow for the whole automation of the process, and once I got the ME bit up and running, I can literally just leave this alone. There will be no need for anything else. The extra cool bit, though, is I'm not planning on sticking with these 8 tiny boilers. I actually have enough to build one very big boiler, a 3x3 area base of these things, and a 3x3x4 tower of these. I don't particularly want to break that at the moment. Now, at the moment, all of these have been sit at about 1000 degrees C for quite some time. But to get to a large boiler to 1000 degrees C, I need to stack up on about 3000 charcoal, I think it is, or more. I'm not entirely sure. There is a calculator online, you can go look that up. But large steam boilers are incredibly inefficient to start up. But once you've got them up, they produce so much steam, it's phenomenal. Which will also mean, for every single one of those, I will be able to run, because I have 36 in effect, 3x3x4 is 36. It's a solid construction. Unlike most of these things, it's like hollow. Anyway, I'll be able to run 18 of these engines, which will be useful. At the moment, though, the amount of steam I produce barely manages to run 3 to 4, which means this thing being full, it doesn't really happen at the moment. This will slowly but surely empty, and these engines will keep providing this with power. This is currently going up because I've stopped using this. And when it reaches full again, I'll probably shove another stacker in. I have liquid ducts running out of this and down all the way into the lava tank I have downstairs. I'm slowly accumulating things in tanks downstairs until I can transfer them, or all of that, to a much larger storage facility. So the creosote oil will go elsewhere, unless I decide to, like, fire up a small liquid fuel boiler, which will provide a little bit extra energy. Anyway, tanks like this water will have to stay as well, because I need water for the boilers. But I also have these igneous extruders. Now, you might think, why am I storing up all this cobble? Well, that's because once I got the system up and running, and I tie it into my Industrial Craft 2 stuff, and I have the energy, I will be running recyclers for this. And the recyclers will allow me to effectively create scrap, and scrap is a very good component in fertilizer. I think it's this one. Nope, not that one. that one either. This one. It's a mixture between bone meal and scrap. Effectively, if you have one fertilizer, you can just keep adding scrap to it, and it'll just become more and more fertilizer. Just keep doing that, really. And useful thing is the scrap has more than just that, though. I can make scrap boxes, which themselves can just help to give me all sorts of useful things. Wow, I see useful. I mean, the chance of them giving me anything useful or rare. However, it can give me netherrack, give me grass blocks, so many things. Food, filled tin can. Scrap is useful. Just saying. Even a chance of getting a pumpkin. The further on I go, though, you'll notice these percentages drop and drop, and they get the items get better and better. Now, these are all good, but slowly but surely, you get less and less chance until 0.19 and 0.09% chance of a diamond or an emerald, or slightly higher chances of ores. And we go back to the beginning again. Scrap boxes is useful, so I may use the excess for that. However, the fertilizer will be incredibly useful for making things like more of these logs, so I can just sell them for stupidly low prices and have like a ton. I can power the system even more powerful, have loads and loads of boilers. List goes on. Also means that fertilizer can be used for making food as well, which I will do at another point. I do have all of the components necessary to create a quick food farm. So much to do, so much to do.